It's Mike Brennan, and once again, we have another guest on MITech TV. We have Kevin Mull, who's Bedrock's Senior Director of Innovation and Strategy. Last week, they had a rooftop drone event that's really was a way to test last mile drone cargo delivery, and I was supposed to attend that, but unfortunately couldn't. So we invited Kevin to be on the show to recap what happened. Let's start off with drone delivery. Now, a lot of people maybe, I mean, Amazon's played around with that for a while, and but how did you guys get involved in it?
Yeah, great question. And Mike, thanks for allowing me to join with you today. Our one of our innovation platforms, the Detroit Smart Parking Lab, it's been around for almost 4 years now, and it's been focused on ground-based mobility. But we've really been paying attention to this really rapidly increasing interest and investment in advanced air mobility. And the piece of that broader industry that we think is pretty relative to what we're doing at the Detroit Smart Parking Lab and to Bedrock and our real estate holdings in Detroit and Cleveland is this idea of using a drone to deliver packages. So we've spent about the last year or so working on the financing and the technical details that we needed to activate the rooftop of the parking garage that we operate the lab in, which is a 5-story garage in Corktown. To go, originally we were operating on the ground floor, and now we're activating the rooftop. So when you consider our holdings, commercial office space, multi-tenant residential, hospitality, retail, parking assets, there's some really interesting opportunities around how drone-based package delivery could enable services and amenities for our tenants. So that's kind of the concept behind it.
So what kind of stuff are you planning on delivering? Is it a variety of things? I mean, I can certainly see it for the mortgage business delivering documents to people, that kind of thing. But you're also talking about just packages to multi-tenant residential too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, Amazon-like packages from, any of the big retailers. It could be food through like a food delivery service, fast food, that sort of thing. It could be medical supplies. It could be financial documents, where it's almost as though we're not necessarily focused on the what at the moment. We're focused on the how. So there's a number of initiatives underway and a lot of industry investment in the drones themselves. How do we, improve and increase domestic manufacturing of drones? There's how are we going to manage the airspace and all the rulemaking around that? And a lot of people are working on that. We certainly care about it and interface with it. But what we're focused on is once that thing, whatever it is landed on the rooftop, how do you get it to its destination? And what are the technologies and the system of systems that are needed to move it from the drone pad to the end user, or the other direction to somebody that wants to send something via drone? How do you get it to the rooftop and then get it up in the air? So that's what the focus of the Smart Parking Lab is, and really what the initial interest and curiosity is from Bedrock as a real estate developer is, what can we do with these rooftops that we have in these, dense urban environments?
Let me ask you, what sort of, how big is the drone? What sort of payloads would they have? I mean, if you're going to deliver packages, they could vary in weight from 5 pounds to 50 pounds, so.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the range that we're looking at. We're looking at small packages, so anywhere from just a couple of ounces, like paper documents, to probably up to 40 or 50 pounds. Most likely at the beginning, really skewing towards the lower end of that scale, just a couple of pounds, like retail size packages.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about some of the safety protocols that you're looking to build into this system. How's that going to be handled?
Yeah, so we've been very thoughtful about that. The main thing is having a UAS transportation management system, or a UTM as it's called, and having a platform that will manage the airspace above our rooftop. And we have decided to work with a company called Airspace Link, who is pretty well known, very connected locally and nationally. So we will work with them to do the airspace management, the deconfliction, that sort of thing. We also have deployed a very high-end weather system from a company called True Weather that does basically micro weather stations, so you can see what's happening at low altitude, around the buildings that we have in this urban environment. We have, pretty strict operating protocol for how and when our rooftop can be used, approach angles, that sort of thing. We're being very thoughtful about the residents that live adjacent to the drone pad, so that we're respecting their privacy and the peacefulness around their residency. We have a concept of use that describes all the different protocols that are needed to interface directly with the rooftop. And then, of course, through the UTM, all of the rulemaking that's happening at the federal level around, beyond visual line of sight, that sort of thing. So we've got a full suite of safety protocols that we're deploying to enable this operation.
So, what's the timeline then for rolling this out beyond the beta testing phase? When do you think you'll actually go live with this?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, because Bedrock is engaging in this via the Detroit Smart Parking Lab. The Detroit Smart Parking Lab is a recognized mobility test site within the state of Michigan. So our mission at the Detroit Smart Parking Lab is only testing, demonstration, and evaluation. It's not commercial operations. If we go through, the testing of a bunch of different elements of this type of service, and we find it attractive, and we find operators that want to come to Detroit, or, in our case at Bedrock Cleveland, where our other holdings are, and they want to establish operations, then we would look to have an operating platform, more likely at a different property. So the parking lab is the tip of the spear. That's where we're going to do the evaluation and decide if and how we want to do something more formal with an operator and activate another property. But no commitments have been made to that yet. We're really in the very early stages of the testing platform only.
I was going to say, what kind of companies are you reaching out to for these types of demonstrations?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got a lot of active dialogue, and we can't name a lot of names, but there are some that are already visible in the local ecosystem, and they're mainly drone manufacturers or drone operators at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
So Aerial Loop, Blue Flight, Bird Stop, those kinds of players. And then there's active dialogue with the big logistics players, the big retailers, a lot of chains that are doing food and beverage, that sort of thing. So it's like everybody is curious and wanting to see how they can leverage this rooftop, but we can't announce specific programs at this early stage. We just activated the rooftop on Thursday, so we're just in the very early beginning of this.
All right. So if people want more information on any of this, want to check out what you have, what's the contact? Is there a website?
Yeah, the website is DetroitSmartParkingLab.com. And that's being updated with all of our, capabilities on the rooftop, but the contact information is there, or of course, people can come directly to me at Kevin Mull at BedrockDetroit.com.